Hi everyone, I'm Sophie Milburn, editor of the MSP Channel Insights portfolio, and I'm joined today by Mark Banfield from TeamViewer. We met recently at your TeamViewer event in Berlin, so I'm really glad to be catching up with you again. For anyone that hasn't met you, would you like to introduce yourself and outline your role at TeamViewer and a little bit about the company itself?
Absolutely. And hi, Sophie. Nice to see you again. So, yeah, Mark Banfield, CRO. I came to TeamViewer because I was the CEO of ONE, and ONE was acquired by TeamViewer a little over a year ago. So, TeamViewer is a global software business headquartered out of Germany. We provide digital workplace technology to all manner of different companies, small, medium, large businesses all over the world. Effectively, what we do is we help organizations better manage their digital workplace. The reality is that these days, every workplace has become a digital workplace. Every employee is a digital employee. Employees are fundamentally dependent on technology to do their job. And we empower organizations to create an environment where employees are able to do their job more easily and remove friction from their day-to-day environment.
Fantastic. That was a great start. So, like you said, that remote connectivity is just becoming more important than ever with the increased amount of digital workplace and device management solutions. How do you feel like that's kind of evolved over the past few years, and what trends are kind of shaping customer priorities today?
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously one of the big trends is that this reality that people are more dependent on technology than ever before. It's almost any job now can't be done without the use of technology. So therefore, the stakes are much higher when it comes to digital friction. The problem that organizations have is that friction is a silent killer in most organizations. And most people deal with it pretty rudimentary. I mean, they don't really deal with it. I mean, most organizations don't have a good way of being able to identify friction and remove it from people's devices. And that's the big trend, really, is this move towards trying to create a more autonomous environment where organizations now are saying, well, we don't want to have to react to people's issues and react when they have an issue and actually solve it after the fact. We actually want to get ahead of it and predict and identify friction before impacts a user's day, and automatically remove that from the environment.
Yeah, and kind of building on that with your when I went to your event recently, you did the shift left mentality. Can you tell me a little bit about kind of what that means for anyone that hasn't seen that and kind of how that plays a part in TeamViewer's messaging?
Yeah, it's I mean, shift left comes from originally from sort of DevOps environment where people were doing application development and sort of being able to sort of shift the identifying of issues in application development earlier. We're using it in the world of digital workplace in a similar way. And what we're saying is that, the traditional way that IT issues get resolved is that someone calls up a help desk and the help desk person reacts and remote controls in and fixes a person's issue. If you can shift left, and what you can start to do is you can do that from a self-service point of view. So the user can do that from their own device and almost interact with a chatbot and actually say, okay, I have this issue. Can you solve it for me? More than that, if you can then do it through an AI approach, which is what we're doing with TeamViewer, where you automatically identify issues and resolve them before the user has an issue. So that's a shift left mentality. And what you're doing is you're shifting away from a manual reactive approach where service desk agents are having to deal with the issue, and you're using technology, automation, to fix the issue earlier.
Amazing. And you have touched on my next point a little bit with the kind of AI and automation piece, but can you tell me a little bit more about what AI looks like in the TeamViewer ONE platform? I know we looked at the tier agent model and all those things. So yeah, for anyone that hasn't seen that.
Sure. Yeah, we have our own AI capability called Tier, as you say. It's a TeamViewer Intelligent Assistant. And there's a couple of ways that AI is utilized across the platform. There's AI throughout the entire platform. The first thing is, when you are doing a remote control session, most organizations, when they use remote control, that data normally gets lost because effectively the person, the technician does the remote control, they fix the issue, they close the session, and that's it. What we're doing is using AI during that session. So we're actually observing what's happening in that session. And then we are collecting all that information and collecting all that knowledge effectively. And we're feeding that into our own AI. And there's two things that can happen. First off, the AI assistant can actually then recommend fixes and recommend actions for the technician. So that's a value add because it makes the technician's job easier. But more than that, with all of that understanding, what we can then do is say, okay, well, we've identified how an issue has been resolved by a technician. We can then turn that into an automation that then lives on our agent on the device and then becomes an autonomous capability. So that's how AI is being utilized across the platform.
Right. So it all sounds very complex, and things are getting more and more and more complex as we're kind of going along. So how is TeamViewer kind of helping MSPs kind of simplify that process a little bit? I know we talked a lot at the event kind of about having a unified platform and all of those things. So yeah, when we look at simplification, what kind of comes to mind there?
Yeah, I mean, look, MSPs, most of them are using a number of different point solutions to achieve many of the things we're talking about. They're using a remote control product, such as TeamViewer's or someone else's. They're using an RMM, remote monitoring and management platform, to do things like patch management, software deployment. They're using other types of monitoring tools potentially, and service desk ticketing systems, et cetera, And what we've done really is address that problem by saying, okay, we package everything into one platform. So we take TeamViewer remote control, AI enabled. We take a full RMM suite that we have available for patch management and mobile device management, security, et cetera. And we've added in now the ONE technology, which is this autonomous capability, which is a step beyond RMM, because RMM typically is a monitoring capability that allows you, creates alerts and you can start to identify issues. But the ONE technology was fundamentally different because it's an agent that is intelligent, that sits there and is able to identify friction, look at the telemetry data and understand where the issue is and solve the issue in real time. The key is actually real time. It happens instantaneously. So if you package all these things together, as we have, we called it TeamViewer ONE, and the packaging is very simple: one price point, one agent, one platform. And we're seeing great success from it, because for an MSP, it's about tool consolidation. They can reduce the number of tools they're using. And of course, they're getting not just the basic RMM capabilities that they're used to using, but they're also now having this autonomous capability, which is really valuable for an MSP. Because if you think about, for an MSP, time is money. So you're selling IT as a service. You're collecting money from your customer. Of course, how do you generate better profitability? Well, you spend less time having to do manual work. And one of the ways you can do that is use this autonomous approach. If you can, typically about 30 to 40% of the tickets you normally react to can be removed through automation in this technology. So that means you could become 30 to 40% more productive in terms of servicing your customers than you were before.
Amazing. Then it comes into all the scaling and all of those things and margins and whatnot. So yeah. As organizations kind of accelerate digital transformation initiatives, what do you see kind of as the biggest opportunities for TeamViewer to support customers across different industries?
Yeah, I mean, it's really all around this autonomous kind of capability. I mean, I think that's where we can best support customers, and we ultimately we work across all different types of verticals, all different types of markets. But the challenges that we're solving are pretty common amongst most of those customers, whether you're an automotive customer, a telecommunications customer, or a banking customer, or whatever it may be. I mean, typically people are using the same types of technologies and they're encountering the same types of issues. So our platform is very horizontal in that respect. It can sort of be can fit into almost any type of business, really.
Right. And then always my favorite question, and my final question, would be kind of looking ahead. What would you say are kind of the things that you're looking forward to with TeamViewer? What do you have coming up? I know you shared the roadmap in Berlin, so if we could get maybe like a bit of a sneak peek into that would be great.
Yeah. Well, the really exciting thing is, ONE, the space that ONE was in is called DEX, Digital Employee Experience, and there's a number of different vendors in that space that are addressing some of the topics we've been talking about today. And then, of course, classic TeamViewer is remote access, remote control technology, and there's a number of different vendors in that space. We're the only vendor that's really brought those two platforms together and created a single offering. It's super important because what I was explaining earlier is that this ability to harness the data and the knowledge that occurs during all of these remote control sessions and then turn them into autonomous capabilities that live on the agent. That's totally unique. So we're really excited about rolling this out. We're already getting customers on this platform already. We're seeing tremendous success, and I think that you'll see us as time goes on, that autonomous endpoint management vision that we have, where effectively, our vision one day is that there is no IT help desk. You don't need a help desk because effectively we have an agent technology that is your help desk. It's on the device and it's fixing issues for you all the time. So that's our vision. That's what we're excited about. And I think as the weeks go by and months go by, we start to realize that more and more. And the great thing about AI, of course, is that it just becomes smarter and smarter every week, every month. And the more customers we get on this, the more and more smarter it becomes.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to see everything that happens, and I'm sure it's all going to change very, very, very quickly. So, yeah, but I'm excited to see. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks, Owen.